How's it going, guys? So I want to introduce you guys to the Trade Manager. For those who haven't watched my risk management guide yet, I highly recommend it. Um, because one thing, guys, just a brief overview again of talking about my last video. Why most people fail at trading is they don't risk 1 to 3% or even half a percent per trade. What they do is they pick their lot sizes based off of their balance. And the issue with that is, let's say that you're taking signals or doing your own trades or whoever, right? And sometimes this person has a 50 pip stop loss. Sometimes this person has a 20 pip stop loss. Sometimes you might have a 80 pip stop loss or a 5 pip stop loss. And the issue with that is, like, if you have all those lot sizes over the place, let's use $1,000 for example, and you're taught to use 0.10 every trade. That means when you take a trade, you might lose $50, $100, $80, $10, $5. So it's inconsistent. But if what I teach people is you risk 1 to 3% per trade. So when you take a trade, and this has been life changing for me, guys, when you take a trade, you risk 1 to 3% on your normal account. And then for people who like doing FTMO and all these other challenges, you risk half of 1% to a third of 1% per trade, because you only have that 5% a day. So if you're risking 0.30, I mean 0. Or a third of 1%, that means you have multiple trading opportunities without hitting that 5% risk. Same thing with the 0.50. But since you don't have those parameters on your normal account, you can do 1 to 3% risk. So instead of you losing $20, $50, $30 here, if you have $1,000 account, if you're risking 1%, you're losing $10 every trade. So it doesn't matter if your stop loss is 50 pips or 10 pips, you're still losing $10. If you have a stop loss if you are risking 2%, you're just in $20 a trade. So I'm going to show you guys how my trade manager works and why it's very unique. And what's good about it is because a lot of people trade from their phones, especially if they're taking signals or they're just more convenient, right? They're not at home on the computer all day. They might have a quick trade set up, and they have their stop loss in place. And most people, another thing is knowing that you're only going to risk a certain amount of money helps your psychology, because now you're not afraid to take a trade, because you know the most you're going to lose is 1%, 2%, 3%, or half or less than 1% per trade. So I'm going to show you an example, guys, on how my trade manager can literally calculate lot size. So we're going to use Euro USD and gold, for example. And so as you can see, like, we're going to use this stop loss. This is going to be around like 20 pips. And then we're going to use another stop loss. It's going to be around like 47 pips. So I want to show you the dramatic difference. And then I'm going to show you how, even though both of them have two different stop losses, we're still going to lose the same amount of money no matter what. Okay, guys, so we're going to just put the trade in real quick. We're going to bring up Euro USD, and we're going to take two trades. So we're going to, how my manager works, it works in the background, so you can take it from your phone. All you do is put in 0.01 and your stop loss, and that will calculate the lot size for you. So you can always do the TP over later, or you can add TP at the same time. But if you just want to get in the trade fast, have the lot size calculated fast, we have a $50,000 account, or it's around 50,000, so it might be off a little bit, but about the same thing, right? We're going to put in two stop losses. We're going to put in 1.1474 and then 1.9207. So let's do the first one, 1.19474, and we're going to hit sell. And it's going to auto calculate the lot, and that's our lot size for that further away stop loss. Now we're going to do another trade where 001 still, 1.19207 sell, and it calculated to 0.71 instantly. So just so you can see, now you can see the difference. I'm going to show you how it's definitely calculated correctly. So we're going to use Fbx Calculator. This is a tool I used to use before I had my trade manager to calculate my risk. So you pick position size. We're going to use Euro USD, $50,000. Or we try to be a little bit more precise. I think it's about 49,952. And so we're risking not 1%, not 2%, but 0.3. So a third of 1%. And so we're gonna just look at this one first. So we put in a 1.18996. So we're gonna type in 1.18996. That was our entry. Our stop loss was 1.19207. And so they had a 21 pip stop loss for that first trade. And so we're risking $149. And our lot size is supposed to be a 0.71. What does that say? 0.71. Let's put this stop loss in. 19474. 19474. 47 pip stop loss. Our entry was 18995. So about the same thing. As you see, we're still risking $150, but we're supposed to have a 0.3. What does that say? 0.31. So it's right on the money, guys. And so I can show you that it works with any pair. We're going to bring up gold real quick. I'm just going to do one gold. And the cool thing about this, guys, is that it uses, I'm just going to just do one gold trade. We're going to just break the stop loss right here. And this is about a, it's going to be, we're going to just bring the calculator up real quick. So the trade, we're going to just put the stop loss in 1767. 1767.073. 0.01 sell. Boom. Let me say, when we look at it, I want you to look at the lot size. Gold. We're going to put it in real quick. We're still going to keep it at 3. We got 30% risk still. So 1758.75. 1758.75. Stop loss 1767.07. We're supposed to risk $150 as always. And it's supposed to be a 0.18. Boom. So guys, and then we're in profit too. And what's cool about this, guys, is that this actually uses it has an automatic partial take profit if you want to have it do that. It has an automatic trailing for you if you want to do that. So you can have it trail your stop loss automatically for you when you want to do a certain profit. If you want to take partial profits, it'll do that for you. And so it's a great trade manager tool. But the main thing I really wanted it for is to calculate these risks. So I hope you guys are going to really enjoy this. It's going to save you from when you, let's say you have a trade, you have the stop loss, and you just want to put it in. You don't want to calculate the risk. But you always want to know exactly how much you're risking every time. So you're always going to be risking the same amount of money every time you take a trade. This is going to be great for accounts $1,000 and plus, because typically they're going to be doing anything more than 0.01. If you have like a super small account, like $100, you don't need this tool because it's 0.01 anyway. There's no point of having the tool recalculate 0.01. But for accounts $1,000 plus, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, or if you're taking an FTMO challenge, I'd highly suggest it. So what we're going to do next is get into how to set this actual trade manager up. Okay, so now we're looking at how to set it up, guys. If you can have this on the VPS or the cloud. It's pre-installed. It's going to be pre-installed in the cloud, or you can download it. Just make sure you have the right credentials. When you go to tools, you go to options. You're gonna go and make sure you have these credentials in, or I mean, at least this one right here, or it will not work. And then make sure these are checked like this. So, yeah, it's gonna. If you already have it in the cloud, it's already like that. So let's set it up, and I'm gonna show you some tricks. Now, if you looked at it earlier, you're probably wondering, like, when you saw the video earlier, you saw when I took that trade on gold, it double took the trade. So I did that on purpose because I wanted to show you something pretty cool. If you have to put the trade manager on each pair, and the good thing about it is that when you put on this pair one time, it runs 24/7. But I know a lot of people that like to trade, and they like to take multiple entries at one time. They might want to take 3 different entries at one time. So instead of you risking 1% of trade, you might risk 0.5% of trade because you're taking 2 trades at the same time, and you might have 2 different trades doing 2 different things. You might have a take profit for a different one, or trail for a different one, or for whatever reasons that you have, right? Or you might want them to have 2 different lot sizes, whatever. You can be as unique as you want. So I'm going to teach you a trick, and then I'm going to show you a trick at the end how to do that. But let me show you how to actually set the bot up. So, um, so let's go ahead and set this thing up. I'm going to just exit out all this stuff so we can do it from scratch. I just took random trades. It really didn't matter to me, honestly. I just wanted to show you how it worked, right? So, what you're going to do is you're going to start at the top, pick the first pair, or whatever pairs you want. You don't have to do every pair, but I'm just going to assume that you want this on every pair. And we're going to look for official trade manager. Now, I have other trade managers in the cloud. If you're watching this and you see trade manager equity. No, this is the only trade manager you need is official trade manager, unless I say otherwise, because I am creating other trade managers. So trade manager, official trade manager, you click over, you bring it over here. You can put it on M15, and you're gonna you have to put your email in, the email that you use to sign up with FX also. So yes, you have to be a member to use this tool. And so you want to turn this false, and this is where you do your equity percentage. So 1%, 1.0 is 1%, 2.0 is 2%, 3.0 is 3%, 5.0 is 5%. 0.30 is that 3%, that third percent of the. This is half of 1%. This is a tenth of 1%, right? So if you really want to be conservative, so let's assume if you're on FTMO or if you're in a regular account, I recommend like either 0.5, 0.5, or 1%, or 2%, or 3%. No more than 3. That's what I would recommend. But you're still counting at the end of the day. Then, if you're on FTMO, I recommend 0.30 or 0.50. The reason I recommend that is because now you're not going to hit that 5%. You have more room to take other trades, and you know exactly how much you're going to be losing every trade. So you can, in your head, you can see how much you understand how much more risk you have for every trade. So if you know you got 1% every trade, that means that you know that you only need to be having 4 trades open. So if all 4 trades hit stop loss, you're at 4% of your account for the day. So stop trading. But if you do 0.5, you can take twice as many trades. 0.3, 3 times as many trades. So let's assume that you're going to do that. So 0.30. And stop loss, you can just put this at 5.0 or whatever you like, right? So what happens is if you don't put a stop loss, it's automatically going to assign you a stop loss. So put a stop loss. You can just put this is like if that one trade, you have multiple pairs, and it's like AUD USD goes negative 2,000, close that trade. Even if it's like 4 different trades, AUD USD, it's gonna close all 4 trades. So that's cool for people who got like multiple. For example, let's say that you end up taking 4 or 5 AUD USD trades, all different sizes, whatever, and you don't want to lose more than $500 on that AUD trade at any moment, even if you took 5 of them. So the most you can risk is $500, but if they all go in profit, then you're good. Then it's going to close all the trades. So if you don't want that feature, just bring it all the way up. But this is for people, I made it just in mind for people who might need something like that. Max running profits, like if all your trades, your AUD trades go into profit at one time, it's going to do that. If you don't want that, then just bring it all the way up, right? That way it's never going to hit neither one. So this is a feature for those who want to use something like that. Trailing, if you want trailing, this is how it works. If you turn this to true, and you put the trigger. Trigger means that, okay, let's say that you're taking trades, you're taking signals, you're taking your own trades, and at 30 pips, this is going by points, by the way, for this part. Points. 300 is 30 pips. So just always remember, take away the 0. So 300 points, which is 30 pips, I want you to move my stop loss automatically. And then the distance is where you want to move the stop loss. So I want to move my stop loss 1 pip above entry, 2 pips above entry, 5 pips above entry, whatever you choose. So let's say you do, let's say at 300 pips, you're going to 30 pips. Let's say at 30 pips, I want to move my stop loss from negative 30 pips, and I want to turn it into a stop profit or a stop into 5 pips above entry. So if my trade goes against me and it goes backwards, it's going to take me out at 5 pips. Now, if you have this at 1, for example, once this goes from 30 pips to 35 pips, then your stop is going to go from 5 pips to 10 pips because it's going to follow the pip by 1. So when it goes to 31, it's going to go from 5 to 6. When it goes to 32, it's going to go from 6 to 7. When it goes to 30, it's going to go from 7 to 8. But if you chose this to 2, when it goes from 300 to 301, it's going to go from 5 to 7 because it's going to go up 2 pips. So it's moving your stop as your trade. So this is good for people who don't really want to use no take profit or want to have a very far take profit, and they want to try to milk the trade as much as they can, but they want to lock in profits. This will do it for them. Partial distance. If you want this on, and of course, if you put it at 0 if you don't want it to use it. But let's say that you want to use this, right? That means that let's say you want to put it the same thing, 300. That's 30 pips. At 30 pips, I want you to take some of my profit. How much is on partial lot size? So let's say you want to take 30% at every time it creates 30 pips. So every time it creates 30 pips, it's going to take 30%. Or every time it does, it's going to take 50%. So let's say it goes at 30 pips, and you're at we'll say at a 0.20. When 30 pips hit, it's going to move your stop loss to break even, and it's going to take 50% of your trade. So if you have a 0.20, it's going to turn your trade into a 0.10 and take half of that profit and close out in profit for you. If you do 50%, it's going to do that. Then let's say that it goes another 30 pips, it's going to take another 50%. So it's going to keep taking profit for you. So it's a good way to lock in profit if you want to do that. If you don't want to use that, that's fine. It's a good tool. I would personally use it. So 50%. You can just turn these stuff off. This doesn't do anything. And then you just hit OK. Now you can let's save it. And hit OK. Now, it only works if the trade manager is on that chart. So the best way to do it is just drag them on each chart that you like. If you don't know which one, just put them all. So save template, call it default, and then just drag and drop all the pairs after you have the setup that you want. Just drag them on over. And this works for anything that you want to use it for. So I have my Sitna group for I do stocks and gold and all kinds of stuff, right? So, you can put USD-ZAR, just in case we call that. We do stocks. We do like gold, so you can throw gold on here. Obviously, if you're not in my group, then obviously if you're using my trade manager in my group, and then you can put Amazon on here and Google and Netflix, and it's gonna automatically calculate. And obviously, you can change what you want to risk per one, or you can keep them all the same. Now and you're pretty much done. Obviously, if you want to change anything about it, just right click and go Expert Advisor, and properties, and you can change anything you want about it. But I'm going to teach you about the dual trade. So let's say that a one pair that you trade yourself, or anything you trade, you want to have it trade twice. So let's just use AUD USD for example. We already have AUD USD up here. Let's say instead I want to dual trade this every time. And instead of me doing let's say I'll keep it at that, 0.3, for example. If I add another AUD USD on here, whenever I do that 0.01, it's going to close that trade and it's going to open up 2 AUD USDs. Now, obviously, if I have the second AUD USD at, for example, 5%, we'll say 1, just so we can see a dramatic difference, right? And let's say that I have this one lock in profits faster at 100 because I'm probably scalping it, whatever. And I don't know, I'm just throwing something out that you can have some fun. It's gonna be for more people advanced. If you don't know what you're doing, I'll just demo this and have fun with it first. But hit OK. So now I'm going to show you. We're going to take this trade. Let me see. I think I only got 2 AUD trades. I might put 2 of them on there by mistake. So okay, I'm going to show you exactly what will happen once we take that trade. I can do it from here actually. So hit new order. 0.01. Let me put a stop loss real quick. Let me see. We're going to put a stop loss about right there. However many pips that is. I think that's like, okay, cool. So let's take this trade. 0.01. My stop loss is 0.75334. So it works the same thing on your computer. You do 0.01, hit sell, and there it took 2 of them. So it took a bigger lot size on the one of them, and it took a smaller one because they had 2 different risks. So this is for fun. If you want to, let's say you want 5 trades every time, you can put 5 in same pair on there, and it'll calculate all 5 for you. So I think it's gonna be a cool tool for a lot of people, guys. Definitely gonna be game changing for those who don't know how to calculate their risk. And because everyone knows I'm a real advocate about risk management. So that's how you set the bot up. That's how it works. That's how you do some cool tricks with it. Play around with it. You can do FTMO. I suggest do FTMO challenge for free. If you're watching this, and then look at the bottom of this video, and you can do the 50,000 challenge for free. Use the Trade Manager tool. And use the tool and see if you can pass it, mess around with it, and once you get good getting 10%, then you can do a real challenge and just put the trade manager on the real challenge. And now boom, you're imagine 10% on a $50,000 account, 10% on 100,000. Because here's the good thing about this, guys. 10,000, 25,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 400,000, all trade the same because now since you have the trade manager, it's doing it by the risk. So a $400,000 account is going to be traded the same way as a $10,000 account because all it is risking a third of 1%. So a third of 1% is going to be different on a $400,000 account than a $100,000 account, but they all want you to do 10%. So that's the end of this video, guys. Hope this video helped. If you liked it, leave a comment below. What you think about the trade manager and if you think it's going to be game changer for you.